Futureproof is sponsored by Carrot Events, showcasing your company values with high-impact, bespoke events. Hello and welcome to Futureproof. Thank you so much for joining me, Sarah Hopwood, as I continue these business television programmes talking about future-proofing and hopefully inspiring everybody to either know that what they're doing is great and right, and if you're looking for any help or guidance or little gems of gold that you can take, nuggets of information, then hopefully we are providing that for you as well. And I'm delighted to say that I have a guest in the studio. Becky, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
So Becky Tonks from the Workforce Facilitator, which is your own business,
Yes.
But that's not where we met, is it?
No. We're going to be showing our age a little bit here, aren't we, Sarah? I think we probably met when I was working for Sussex Enterprise, which is the Sussex Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
I ran the commercial training department there for a while, so I'm sure, and also helped out with the networking events, so I'm sure on that circuit I met with you and also with Paul a few times.
Yes, yes. And then I think there was a bit of a gap, and then I caught up with you again, and you're working with the LEP. What is the LEP and what's its function? And
Sure.
what was your role on there?
Sure. So Coaster Capital is our local enterprise partnership.
So LEP is Local Enterprise Partnership, and they're all around
Yes.
the country, aren't they?
Yes, there's I believe 38 of those.
And Coaster Capital is basically ours, isn't
Yes,
it?
so Coaster Capital is West Sussex, Brighton and Hove and East Surrey.
Yeah.
And then you've got the surrounding LEPs as well. So essentially they are an organisation that supports the development, the business growth, the economic growth and the general development of the area that they service. But the project that I was involved in was actually match funded by Coaster Capital.
Yeah.
So the Careers and Enterprise Company, which was set up by the Department for Education probably about 5 years ago, created this project, and then the easiest way of delivering it so that it was local, because obviously what works in Manchester doesn't work in Devon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They delivered it through the LEPs. So across the whole of England, this Enterprise Advisor Network is match funded and delivered through the LEPs.
So when the LEPs were first launched, I was on the Gatwick Council, Gatwick Diamond, the GDB Executive Council with John Peel, who was the one who picked it up, I think, for Coaster Capital and started. I think he brought it all together. He certainly
Yes.
chaired it, I think.
Yes.
And then other people have come in since. So you're not doing that now. So we've talked about the Workforce Facilitator. That's your business. What do you do? What is it? What does it mean?
Essentially, it's all about preparing young people for work and supporting employers in how they recruit, how they support work experience. It's essentially, my strapline effectively is empowering tomorrow's workforce today.
Yes.
Because I feel very, very strongly that we, and it's not just about the qualifications and even the technical skills, it's about mindset. It's about how young people feel, and it's about how employers understand young people so that they can recruit effectively.
I mean, empowering the workforce for tomorrow, is that what? Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the heart of what this programme is about. You know, it's future proofing. And I'm a former teacher. My education was terrible. I was part of the state schools when, you know, if you were in a poor set, you had a poor teacher. You were and then my parents tried to help, sent me to boarding school, and we used to call that St Trinian's. It was that bad, if I call it that, you know. And so my education, it was ever so hard. I was always going through the back door or the side door. So I share your passion, and we really want to help people. You're working in Shoreham at the moment too, aren't you?
Yes. Lovely place.
Shoreham Academy.
Shoreham Academy. So one of the projects I'm involved in is Shoreham Academy is the local secondary and sixth form college for the area. It has an outstanding Ofsted. It has an outstanding
everything, isn't it?
On everything. It has an outstanding senior leadership team. Effectively, it is an outstanding
school
academy, and it is such a privilege to be involved. And in my previous job, I probably met with 50 or 60 head teachers and senior teams across the area, and I was always very struck by how well they worked at Shoreham. And when the opportunity came to work with them as a consultant, what they're doing is really innovative. I don't know any other school that's doing this. So effectively, they're paying me to be the freelance consultant to write their strategic plan and deliver the strategy of careers across the academy.
So this is the careers strategic plan. Now, can you say more about that? Because whilst they're embracing it and running with it, schools don't, or senior schools don't actually have a choice, do they? Can you say what it is and what's going on?
Yes, so a couple of years ago the careers strategy came out from the government and basically said that every school must have a careers leader, a named careers leader, and they have to be either a senior person or really explicitly linked with the senior team. That person drives that culture, because it is a culture change for a lot of schools in careers, and having a careers plan that's both strategic and operational and achievable. That's really important, as we know from writing business plans, and it has to be published, so it has to be agreed by all of the stakeholders that are involved with education. So your senior team, your governors, your teachers and your parents and your students need to understand it, and it needs to be published on your website so that anybody could read it and anybody could question you about it, and quite right too.
Absolutely quite right. And I think, you know, before now sometimes things haven't got through education for good reason, because the government have changed policies or brought in new initiatives time and time again, and we know that the teaching fraternity can become tired of change. In fact, they're exhausted for change. But for the success of this, they do need to embrace it, and the career strategy, a lot of it is addressing life skills, isn't it, Becky? You know, and can you say how it came about? Because when we were preparing, you said employers actually saw that there was a gulf after one thing stopped. Can you say more about that?
One of the biggest issues that employers found was that employing young people sort of 16 to 18, they just were not ready for the world of work. So they may have had the qualifications or even some of those technical skills, but resilience was a huge issue with teenagers, being adaptable, being able to communicate effectively, and understanding the world of work. Because now that we're in the world of work, we get it, we know how it works, but when you go into a school and you spend quite a lot of time there, and obviously for young people that is their world, it's a very different world to the world of work.
And I do know there are some businesses that aren't even looking at A-star students anymore, because they're saying they are coming and that they don't have life skills, which is what we're talking about. And looking and talking about future-proofing, yes, there are students who don't show resilience and they're not adaptable, but there are people, whilst we understand it as consultants, there are people in your business at the moment that are not showing resilience and they are not showing adaptability. And it's those that are light on their feet and effective in change that will help you win in the marketplace. What I love too is they are also looking at maybe, well, actually, I don't think it's introducing the life skills earlier, it's putting a name to it. Can you say more about that? Because we had that conversation earlier too.
Yes, I think that's happening. I think schools were already doing a lot of this. I think for teachers, there is this assumption, oh, well, they just weren't doing it and now we're making them do it.
So this is careers preparation, life skills we're talking about.
But teachers are doing it. They're doing it all the time. I've sat in lots of lessons, as an ex-teacher yourself. It's just badging it so that young people understand that, okay, so what I've done today, I've solved a problem.
Yes.
That would happen in the world of work. I've worked in a team. That would happen in the world of work. And I think it's just making them make that leap into the world of work, because it is an alien world for young people, and often for teachers, because they've spent a lot of their time in education, and we need to demystify it, really. And it's just, as you say, it's life skills.
It is life skills. And I did spend 6 years at Shoreham College, which is a private school, preparing them for work experience. But I also did the Business Excellence Forum, where we brought business in and keynote speakers. But every term I wanted some children to create a business and come and talk and present it to my network, and they did it. So and some of them were quite young.
Oh yes.
So those creative brains are all powerful. Becky, do stay with me, because I want to stay on this subject for the second half. But if you have a child out there, whatever age it is, then do maybe go into your school and ask your school leaders, for the career strategy, and if it's not there to be seen, then it should be in the making. And you're perfectly entitled to ask them about it
and support your school.
Get behind it
as an employer yourself.
Get behind it. Cool. Stay with me. Really good. Thanks, Becky. Very good. EQ, emotional quotient, is better known as emotional intelligence. It is a tangible tool that can sit alongside your services or your product, and it can be taught. Leaders with high EQ have less stress, they're more effective, and they earn more money. There's a great saying, just because we have pains, it does not give us permission to be a pain. I believe that teaching emotional intelligence has a direct impact on your sense of success and your net profits. EQ will empower you and your workforce to drive the change that you want. Change brings transition. EQ can help unpack what's holding you back and speed up that period of transition.